Hello, my name is Art Smalley, and I'm president of Art of Lean Incorporated, and I was asked to make a short video introducing myself and my latest book, Four Types of Problems, for an upcoming summit in Columbia, November 6th and 7th. First, for those of you who don't know me, brief background. My name is Art Smalley, as I mentioned, and I am a speaker, author, consultant in the world of lean thinking and lean improvements. I started out by working for Toyota Motor Corporation in Japan. I lived there for about 10 years. I do speak, read, and write Japanese, and I keep in touch with the company and study it very carefully. I help a variety of clients around the world on problem solving, continuous improvement, leadership, coaching, and many other areas. I'd like to take this time to say thank you for translating my book into Spanish. It's an honor to have my book translated into different languages and have the opportunity to spread it and disseminate the ideas to different people. So I want to thank the Lean Institute of Columbia, and again, the others associated in getting it translated into Spanish, and thank you. And I hope you get a chance to look at the book and see if it helps you in your organization and its improvement journey. Maybe someday in the future I'll get a chance to come back and explain it to you in more detail. The book contents deals with what I call the four types of problems. I call them, for simplicity, Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, and Type 4. Type 1 problems are what we do to solve our daily abnormalities and the many, many small problems we have throughout the day in order to win the daily management battle. We don't always get to the root cause of these, but we do the best we can under the circumstances and try and get things back on track. Of course, that's not a perfect way to deal with problem solving. So there's Type 2. Type 2 problems deal with a gap from standards, persistent problems, recurring problems, and of course with these we go after the proverbial root cause. We deep dive and really dig into the details and understand what's causing it until we can prevent it from recurring. And the history of 20th century problem solving is much about Type 2 routines, and there's various styles we could mention here. If you're good at 1 and 2, your organization is going to be pretty good, but that's no small challenge. Beyond that, however, lie Type 3. Even if you don't have a problem, there's the opportunity to improve. Customers expect more. Your competition is moving in on you. You have to improve over time if you want to stay ahead. Think of the Olympics, for example. You just have to run faster next year, whether the problem or not. Jump higher, do better, score more points. You know, our organizations are like that in many ways. So even when there's no problem and you're 100% on-time delivery, we're still going to try and do it better, cheaper, faster somehow next year. Beyond that are Type 4, and the Type 4 routines are the real open-ended innovation types. In these cases, there are no constraints. We want to seek a new solution space and a better way to do things entirely. Could be an entirely new product, an entirely new process, entirely new service, completely different way of doing things than in the past, and that represents a bigger breakthrough than Type 3. So I hope that serves as a brief introduction to the book and gets you interested in looking at it. I was also sent 5 questions by the Institute in Columbia, and I've taped them up here. I'm going to try and read them and answer the best of my ability here in the next couple of minutes. Question 1 was, in general, companies treat and solve problems. Why should companies be interested in this book, and what would they gain by identifying problems Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, and Type 4? Well, my answer is I don't think companies treat their problems very well. Most companies I visit struggle with this. Type 1, Type 2, Type 3, Type 4. The success rates are very low, and the lead time to solve these problems are very long. So I think this is a fundamental problem we all wrestle with and need to improve upon over time. Number 2 question is, what do you think Toyota and other companies have done to continue to see their problems as opportunities or treasures? And there's a lot. There's no one thing. I mean, reflect on the term the Toyota way. What is the Toyota way? At the highest level, it's continuous improvement and respect for people. So we cultivate a mindset and we train people out of respect for them, but we also expect them to solve problems in their area, small, medium, and large problems, over time as we develop them throughout their career. So part of the company culture entirely deals with this topic. It's no one thing. Type 3. There's a feeling that there are many companies treating their Type 1 problems and Type 2 problems, I assume in Columbia, as if they were Type 4. What do you think about this? Well, I think that's a problem. If you treat everything as a Type 4 problem, in baseball, that's sort of like always trying for the grand slam. They're great when you get them, but they're very low percentage. The success rate on innovation and type 4 problems, even with expert involvement, is not that high. And the other problem is that very few people are involved in type 4. You tend to have select experts or very small groups working on them, and you don't involve the rest of the organization. So 5% or less work on your type 4 problems typically. That means you're ignoring 95% of the population. So that doesn't fit our needs in terms of respect for people and development of people. And also, problems differ by level. So I don't think you can get away with just saying I'll do innovation and ignore the other 3 types. Number 4, how do you address the situation in which each level of the company thinks differently in relation to the way they see problems? Well, actually, I don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. In particular, I do want levels to see problems differently and engage on all 4 types. Now, at the frontline level, most of your day, for example, is going to be immediate response and what I call the type 1 troubleshooting types of problems. And you want to survive the moment safely and do what you can for the customer. But you also want to have a level and ability beyond that to say some of these need to go into deeper dives or type 2, root cause analysis, and strive to really solve them. Another level or layer of the company needs to think about problems as type 3 as opportunities and how to improve even if we don't have a problem right now. There's always a better way. And some companies, some element of the company does need to think about innovation and open-ended thinking. That's what keeps you in business in the long run. I would like every level to think of the all 4 types, but I understand that some levels are going to prefer one type or experience more of one type during any given day. It's not a bad thing. That's why I think the framework can be useful in terms of language and terminology. The last question is, what do you recommend for those who call problems by name? And well, no, I think that's a problem. You have to have what we call the 3C spirit in Toyota. Courage, creativity, and the spirit of challenge. You cannot hide from problems. Just calling them opportunities or some other topic doesn't make them any easier to solve or anything of that nature. It just hides from the question in many times. So this is why I like to use the language of 4 types. There can be the troubleshooting problems, the gap from standards problems, the target state opportunity ones, and the innovation, and give you more language to deal with these. But I don't think you can avoid addressing any of the 4 types. And I've never met a company successful that doesn't use the language of problem solving in some way and deal with these in some specific fashion. So I hope that gives you some insight into what the book's about and answers the basic questions that were given to me. I hope you have a wonderful summit, and I look forward to meeting all of you someday. Thank you.